What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bleep Bloop. This is a brand new video series that I am bringing to the channel. In the past, I was only doing podcast episodes, topics, and I also had a short form segment called Bits and Pieces. You'll still be able to find that. But this is a video series where I will take the weekly news from the gaming industry, share a little bit of it, and share my thoughts on it. Now, unlike Bits and Pieces, where I only give you the main juicy headlines, this is a little bit more of a well-rounded perspective of the gaming environment, the gaming industry as a whole. All right, so we got a lot of stories to cover, so without any further delays, let's jump right into it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, click that notification bell. Let's go. This first story comes from IGN from Taylor Lyles. Assassin's Creed VR gets new title, teases full reveal at Ubisoft. Assassin's Creed VR has been renamed Assassin's Creed Nexus VR, and it will launch later this year for MetaQuest VR headsets. Now, this was announced at the MetaQuest Game Showcase. Assassin's Creed Nexus VR is the first game in the Assassin's Creed franchise to be playable in virtual reality. Originally announced in a blog post in 2021, Assassin's Creed Nexus was one of two VR games Ubisoft announced were in development for the MetaQuest VR headset, along with Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell VR. However, it seems only Assassin's Creed Nexus VR will see a release, as Axios reporter Stefan Totilo reported last year that Ubisoft canceled that development of Splinter Cell VR along with three other games, excuse me. So, what do I think? I think this is an interesting direction for Ubisoft and the Assassin's Creed franchise. But I gotta say, it kind of makes sense, because when you look at successes like Half-Life, Alex, and you look at the Horizon Zero Dawn game that came out not too long ago, some would call that a climber simulator game. In any case, graphically, these are good examples of games that really helped paint what the landscape of VR could be and what we all kind of, I would say, knew would be on the horizon. When you look at a game like Assassin's Creed with the parkour type elements, jumping off of the tall buildings like an eagle into the hay, it just gives you the perception that along the road of technology improving, this would be the likely course of action to take for a series like Assassin's Creed. Now, I can't say that I'm definitively going to jump right in. However, if it looks and plays anything like Half-Life Alyx, then I would absolutely be there, because I have also been a fan of Assassin's Creed for a very long time. One of my top favorite games is the original Assassin's Creed for many reasons. That was on a podcast episode, my favorite games of all time. Make sure you could check that out. So yeah, this is really interesting. It also goes on to say that while the MetaQuest Games Showcase did not share much about the upcoming project other than the new name, we won't have to wait much longer, as today's showcase confirmed that Ubisoft Forward, which will be held on June 12th, will provide a full reveal of Assassin's Creed Nexus VR. So, June 12th, we'll be able to see a lot more of what this game has to offer. And I also got to find it kind of interesting that the premise of the game is you're this individual that goes into this essentially virtual reality simulator machine. What is it? The Animus. And you take on the role of somebody else in your bloodline, so they can try to find out, clues and information. And, the story has changed since then, but it's very similar. So it's just kind of interesting that in real time, you'll put a VR headset on and you'll be playing as some character. Kind of creepy. What is it? When art imitates life. So June 12th, we'll see more. Stay tuned to the channel so we can give you an update when we get it. All right, on to the next one. How to watch the Summer Game Fest. Now, Summer Game Fest is right around the corner. If I'm not mistaken, it is Thursday, June 8th. Now, when is Summer Games Fest? Well, first of all, some of y'all might be like, well, what the heck is Summer Games Fest? Well, if you've been living under a rock and you absolutely don't know, I will enlighten you. Summer Games Fest is Jeff Keighley's Game Fest. It's become one of the biggest gaming events on the calendar. So it's very similar to think of E3 when a lot of people pulled out of E3. This was the flagship event that kind of started to take place. What was happening, if I had to guess without really knowing any of the specifics, E3 was really meant to showcase a lot of the big publisher houses, a lot of the big developers. So a lot of the indie developers and indie publishers weren't really just getting that appeal. I mean, they were on the showroom floor. There were little panels here and there, but you really didn't get to see a lot of what was showcased. So Summer Game Fest came along and it kind of just brought all of it together and kicked off the summer game events calendar, if you will, of all the different showcases that were taking place throughout the summertime. So me as a gamer, I really was interested because then I could see other things from Devolver Digital, Wholesome Games Direct, Future PC Gaming show, or PC Future Game Show. I always forget how you put the words together. But in any case, it was a great opportunity for a lot of those other showcases to take place. In addition to, the Xboxes, the PlayStations, the Ubisofts, the bigger publisher houses and the bigger showcases. So this is the kickoff event. And usually at the kickoff event, there's tons and tons of trailers that are premiered. And it goes on for a good week and a half, 2 weeks, with a lot of showcases taking place. So it says here the show will officially kick off Thursday, June 8th at the following times: 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. BST, 5 a.m. AET, which is actually June 9th. And you'll be able to watch it on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. Well, that's a good one. And Steam. That's a good one too. I think Steam is really great because if you see something and they're like, hey, a demo is available, you're already on Steam right there. Bow. Now, here's something else interesting. Who will be at Summer Games Fest? So there's a whole list of people. CD Projekt Red, Devolver Digital, Epic, Focus, Gearbox, NeoWiz, Niantic, Pearl Abyss, Square Enix, Tribeca, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers Interactive. So there's a lot of the good stuff. What to expect? They don't go into a whole lot, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't really want to get a teaser of what to expect. I like being surprised. Just surprise me, because when you surprise me, then the anticipation is higher. If I kind of already know that something's coming out, then the expectations are harder to manage, because imagine here's a good example. Mortal Kombat 1 was announced, right? The remake. So now everybody's kind of anticipating that game coming out. But now there's going to be a lot more expectations. Are they going to stick to the original storyline, which really wasn't there? I mean, there wasn't really a storyline, but the original characters. What kind of storyline are they going to paint? Is it going to tie to other lore or canon that's out there, if you will? But that's just an example, right? So for me, I'd rather just be surprised, see some cool stuff, and then be able to react to it and talk to it, which you will be able to be here for a live stream Thursday, June 8th for the kickoff of Summer Game Fest. And we will have a whole slew of other live streams going on for all the other showcases. All right, moving right along. The Summer 2023 showcase schedule, every gaming publisher live stream and Summer Game Fest event. This story is from PC Gamer, from Lauren Morton. And really, the whole schedule is right there in front of us. We got the State of Play, which was May 24th. It was kind of mid. Guerrilla Collective, that's going to be a good one, June 7th. Then we got Summer Game Fest, June 8th. Day of the Devs, which is June 8th. May watch that, maybe not. Accessibility, I'm not exactly sure what that is. Wholesome Direct, that's definitely a big one for indie players. Future Games Show, that's a good one as well, because a lot of PC games at that one. PC Gaming Show, which will be some of the bigger names in addition to some of the stuff, maybe some of the stuff we've seen at the other showcases, but maybe not. Then you got the Xbox, and that's June 11th. Excuse me. Future Game Show is June 10th. Wholesome Direct is June 10th. Xbox Starfield, June 11th. Ubisoft Forward is June 12th, and the Devolver Direct is to be announced. Now, this really makes sense because of with E3 being canceled, a lot of people still want to see this stuff coming out. Guerrilla Collective, the article kind of lists what to expect. Summer Game Fest, they're talking about possibly Baldur's Gate 3 launch, some CD Projekt Red info about Witcher Trilogy, Witcher 1 Remake, Day of the Devs. Okay, Day of the Devs is an indie game focused showcase, so we actually do want to check that one. The Accessibility Showcase will highlight upcoming releases from disabled game devs and games prioritizing accessibility. So that's not bad. Okay, Wholesome Direct, like I said, that's an indie one for cozy gamers. You know, I know there's a lot of cozy gamers out there. Can't say I am unless I really, need to take a nap. But all jokes aside, a lot of good shows. 70 games to showcase. Now, I know out of 70, there's got to be something I like. So, Future Game Show is always a good one. 40 new trailers. PC Game Show, 2 hours, 55 game trailers. Xbox Starfield. I mean, Starfield's in the name, obviously. The question is, are they going to show any type of teaser for Elder Scrolls 6? They do say right here, possibly Perfect Dark and the next Fable game. I know we did see that teaser trailer a while back. Ubisoft Forward, they say Prince of Persia, Skull and Bones. What I really would like to see for that is Splinter Cell. Hopefully they got something for Splinter Cell or another Ghost Recon game. Come on, Ubisoft, don't let me down. Devolver Digital, I mean, they always pull out something surprising. So, busy schedule coming up in the next week or so. Looking forward to it. All of this will be brought to you here. We will try to do as many live streams as possible. If not, I will do a reaction video series so you'll be able to check it out. All right. In addition to reaction to game trailers, those were a big staple of the channel for a long time. Going to be bringing those back. But stay tuned for the channel update video that I'll be doing, posting relatively soon around the time that this gets released. New games for 2023 and beyond to add to your wish list. Now, I already know there's tons and tons of games to play, trailers to watch. So I'm not going to go through every single game on this list, but I wanted to bring this to you to see what is the standout stuff that people are probably anticipating in addition to some hidden gems. So, it's already been an incredible year. This story was brought to us by Josh West, all right? And then contributions by Heather Wald, Sam Loveridge, and Roland Bishop, all right? So, new games. Street Fighter 6, that just dropped, getting a lot of fanfare. Diablo 4 just dropped, a lot of fanfare. Crash Team Rumble, if you're a big fan of Crash. Aliens Dark Descent. Now, I did a bits and pieces short about this, and I'm actually really looking forward to this. This comes out June 20th, so this is in 2 weeks. So I'm really looking forward to this. It was announced at the Summer Games Fest 2022. Alien Dark Descent is described as a squad-based action game set in the Alien universe. It's as you enter into open levels, you have to give your squad orders in real time to strategically take out enemies. The debut trailer showed off a horde of xenomorphs, open-faced hugger eggs, and a very unsettling figure who looks to be a new threat. That just sounds fun. Final Fantasy 16, a lot of people, look, I can't say nothing else about it, right? June 22nd, that comes out. Oxenfree 2, Lost Signal. I was kind of anticipating this, but in all fairness, I never played the first one, and I'm always the type that if I don't play something, I don't want to play the second one without getting a real understanding. So I may just watch some people play this, but it does come out in July. Immortals of Avium, The Expanse, a Telltale series. There's already a reaction or a review article and video on IGN. I did not watch it. No harm, no hate, no foul, no nothing. But I want to go into this blindly. I'm a fan of these types of games, especially like the Wolf Among Us. Can't wait for Wolf Among Us 2 to come out. But this really jumpstarts Telltale coming back with the episodic story-based games that I absolutely enjoy. The Expanse, a Telltale series in The Expanse, comes out July 27th. A Telltale series in joint development at Telltale and Deck Nine. You'll play as Kamina Drummer, who's well known from the TV series of the same name as a prominent belter, aka someone born in space. Kara G from the TV series is also reprising her role for the game as you try to live your life on the outskirts of the asteroid belt and mutiny breaks loose on your ship, the Artemis. Your choices will determine the fate of the ship and potentially those on board too. That sounds dope. Just sounds dope. I'm absolutely right there for it. I know that the first one releases July 27th. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I read something where I think each episode comes out like a month apart, 2 months apart, 3 months apart, something like that. So, and I think there's 6 episodes per game. So that's great. And if I remember correctly, when I played Wolf Among Us, I think the first episode was about 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken. And then each one after that, depending on what you do, is about relatively an hour or so in length. So you're talking anywhere from probably 8 to 12 hours probably of main story gameplay, with all the episodes, if I had to guess. Could be longer though. And I'm just really interested because with this being in space, it's something different. I mean, Wolf Among Us was absolutely something different. Walking Dead series was really great. So this is a whole new environment. Looking forward to it. All right, you got Atlas Fallen. I know that's a real big one for people. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. And I got to admit, I was not aware that this was coming out so soon. I honestly thought this was going to come out like next year. But apparently it's coming out August 25th. They had a really good trailer at, I think it was Gamescom. If I'm not mistaken, it's Gamescom. Well, no, Gamescom is August. So we still got a ways. But it was at an event earlier this year or last year. Game Awards. That's what it was. It was Game Awards. Okay. Baldur's Gate 3, August 31st. I know this is a real big one for people. It's been moving through Steam Early Access since October 2020. Now developer Larian Studios is finally ready to unleash its new RPG on the world. Baldur's Gate 3 is set to land in August 2023 with the Mind Flayers doing all they can to rip and shred their way through your party. Larian has been doing great work on the legendary series through 2 years of early access. Did I say serious? And we can't wait to see how the final game shapes up. Starfield. Now, this is the one everybody, just like Diablo 4, is very, very antsy about. I know my son loves these types of games. He probably will absolutely be wanting to jump into this and, just see what it has to offer. September 6th, Bethesda's first new IP in 25 years, Starfield is an open world RPG set in space. And Bethesda has been working on it for years. And from the first gameplay shown off at the E3 2022 Bethesda and Xbox Showcase, Xbox Games, did I say Xbox Showcase? Xbox Games Showcase has been worth the wait. With 1,000 planets to explore, however, and whenever you want, Starfield is giving you the control to explore space as part of Constellation, a group figuring out what's going on in space. With the deepest customization options for a Bethesda game ever, you'll be able to make your own character, base, and ship too. And I mean, when you think about it, with games like No Man's Sky, with games like Star Citizen, what is that other really, really popular space game that everybody plays? It's not Everspace. Is it Everspace? There's another one that just slips my mind. But with those types of games, they're able to, there's a blueprint. There's a blueprint already established. So you can really emulate and re-customize to your style, right? Bethesda. To create the game that people really want. Like they understand the RPG aspect, to the T. Like we give them credit where credit is due. The question is are they going to use the dated engine that a lot of people have talked about in the past? Did they customize it? From what I've seen, visually it looks really good. How does it play? We have yet to see. And I think we're also in a landscape where a lot of developers, a lot of publishers want to stick to that project timeline and just deliver on the date that they say. And they are willing to eat up the reduction in sales because of performance issues. And this has become a very big issue ever since Cyberpunk 2077. Like that was the I feel like that was the changing of the guard in terms of quality delivery in the gaming world. It's like, hey, just push it out. We'll fix it later with a patch. But as a consumer, I don't want to do that. I want to jump right in and enjoy something that I've been anticipating for a very long time. And I honestly feel like this is why, in my mind, that you can never do away with digital or with hard copy gaming, because when a game came out, right, usually that game was top notch, stellar to the T, and install it, play it, good to go. But now, because we've moved into a very digital heavy landscape, it's easy for developers to push something out and then roll a patch right out shortly after to, quote, fix the problems. But to me, as a consumer, that devalues my experience. That makes me not want to appreciate your product. And then we also live in a landscape where it's easy for reviewers to review something well in advance and it affect the outcome of something. I mean, look at the new Lords of the Ring, Golem. That game, I honestly was very, very, very anticipating very much, and you didn't hear nothing about it till it released. And then once it released, that's when all the floodgates opened, and it was just like 4 thumbs down. People just did, because technically and performance-wise, it just didn't live up to the expectations. So I hope they really do the fans justice, because I think this will be a great experience. Another game for me to add to my collection. All right, let's keep moving right along. We'll touch on a few more of these, and we'll move into the next story. Mortal Kombat 1, we already kind of talked about that. Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm not going to speak too much on the Ubisoft stuff because we have a Ubisoft Forward coming up. Lords of the Fallen is another big one coming out. Alan Wake 2, October 17th, October 12th for Lords of the Fallen. Alone in the Dark, Disney Dreamlight Valley. I thought this was already out. I guess there is early access right now. Counter-Strike 2 is another big game that a lot of people are playing. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Now, I will say for the PlayStation State of Play showcase, whatever it was that they did, they ended the showcase with this game. This game looks dope. It absolutely looks dope. It looks like it's going to have a great story. The combat looks sick. You get to jump right back into the environment you were already in with Marvel Spider-Man and then Miles Morales. So now you get the tag team with each other. He's got the Venom suit on. Like, Kraven the Hunter is in it. Like, it just looks really, really cool. So this is a good one. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. I know that they did and then there's two to be confirmed games. Ghost Runner 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song. Who knows when that's coming. Oh, City Skylines 2. Okay, that's an interesting one. The Lamplighters League, strategy RPG. Flintlock Siege of Dawn. Forza Motorsport. Banishers Ghost of Eden. I know there was a little bit of a sneak trailer for that. Hades 2, that was announced. Helldivers, Silent Hill Ascension. Transformers, Avatar, Ark 2, Cocoon. I mean, all of these, if I'm being perfectly honest, for me personally, are just kind of eh. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, that one actually looks really good. Skull and Bones, I gotta admit, without a real solid storyline for me, single player mode, I'm not gonna probably play this. Under the Waves, I think that was a narrative one. And then Earthblade, that's the one from the same people that developed Celeste, so that should be really, really good. And Rise of Ronin, Suicide Squad, and then there's a whole slew more games. So go to Games Radar if you want to check the rest of these games out. All right, and we shall move right along. This is from VideoGameChronicles.com. This is written by Tom Ivan. Former God of War art director joins Netflix to work on an original AAA game. Ralph Grassetti will work alongside Halo veteran Joseph Staten and former Overwatch exec producer Chaco Sunny. That's a cool name, Chaco. Netflix has hired another high-profile developer for its new game studio in Southern California, which is working on an original multi-platform AAA game. Santa Monica studio art director Raf Grassetti announced earlier this month that he was leaving the God of War studio after more than a decade at Sony. And on Wednesday, he revealed that he's joined the Netflix studio led by former Overwatch executive producer Chaco Sonny. He'll also be working alongside the studio's creative director Joseph Staten, the Halo veteran who left Microsoft last month, and its director of technology Jerry Edsall, who was previously lead programmer on Gears 5. I'm happy to announce that I've joined Netflix to develop a new original IP AAA game, Grassetti said. I'm really excited to build a team and to work with the amazing Joseph Staten, Jerry Edsall, and Chaco Sonny to bring a new world to life. This is interesting. And the last thing I want to touch on the article is Netflix said that it was planning to release another 40 games in 2023, taking its offering to 95 by the end of the year. Now, I got to admit, I don't even know half the games Netflix has released. So maybe that's a video. But it's just interesting that this guy who worked on God of War teams up with a Halo veteran and an Overwatch executive producer. So, if I had to jump out on a limb, I would venture to say that this is going to be some type of shooter. And why do I think that? Well, I think because Netflix knows that if it can target a genre of game that is very popular across all mediums, so Sony, PlayStation, Xbox, not really Switch. Well, I mean, you got Splatoon, but and on PC, then it will have a strong footing in the game space, especially in a competitive arena. So if you get some good developers, somebody that artistically can create a vision that you're going for, with some people that understand the shooting genre arena, it lends itself to the possibility of creating another shooter that is in competition with all the others. Now, am I right on that? Probably not. Who knows? Maybe they're going to create a third-person shooter. Maybe they're going to create a fighting game. But when I see names like, or when I see things like Overwatch, Halo, those things stand out to me just in terms of the shooter aspect. Now, I can't speak to these guys' these people's resumes, so I don't know what else they've worked on. But if I just take it for face value, that would be what I venture to say they're working on. They really want to create a solid, popular, competitive shooter that goes against all the others. So we'll see. More to follow on that. Pretty interesting story, though. I'm always fascinated by people that have been working with certain studios, decide to go somewhere else to see what else they create, how it changes the landscape, and what we have to look forward to just as gamers in general. I hope you enjoyed this episode of These Gaming Headlines. Stay tuned to the channel for all the great stuff we got coming up. There's a ton of stuff that I'm trying to do for the channel. I know it's been dead and stagnant for a little bit. I want to thank anybody that checks the videos out. If you like them, then like and subscribe. Leave a comment. I'll do my best to comment back to you. And until the next video, y'all, peace.